WYMT Mountain News first at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Steve Hensley. First at 4, strong to severe storms are moving across Kentucky. So far, no reports of major damage or tornado touchdowns in our region. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Paige Noel for the latest. And Paige, there are some warnings out, right?
Yeah, we have a severe thunderstorm warning now, and that includes some parts of Laurel County as we're seeing this heavy line of showers and storms moving into parts of London as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. It's moving out of Pulaski County now, but definitely in Laurel County. This goes until 4:15. Definitely some gusty winds, heavy rain, maybe even some light hail associated with this. This will be moving into parts of Clay County as well. You can see a little bit of Jackson's in that, along with McCreary County and Pulaski County and Rockcastle. But you see that that threat is out of that area. You can see actually it was just updated there. Laurel County still in that, along with Jackson and Clay and Rockcastle. Once again, that goes until about 4:15. But as we take a look at the bigger picture, just multiple showers and storms. That one warning right now. Keeping an eye on that warning over into Madison County that could be moving into parts of Powell and Estill County. We're just seeing those showers and storms start to pop up, but really the further east they move, they're actually going to become a little bit more severe. That's why that enhanced risk was issued for a lot of our eastern Kentucky counties. That includes our West Virginia counties and our Virginia counties as well. That enhanced risk, 3 out of 5 on the severe weather scale. Rest of us in a slight risk, which is a 2 out of 5 on the severe weather scale. So there's a look at that severe thunderstorm watch until 9 p.m. this evening. All of our counties are in that, so more showers and storms are expected to pop up as we head into the rest of the evening hours. I'll break down the timing of this event coming up in just a little bit, Steve.
All right, Paige, and we'll get back to you as necessary. Troopers say an active shooter situation began late last night and continued into the early morning hours. It happened in the Cary community of Bell County. WYMT's Hannah Reynolds tells us how it ended.
Troopers say they are thankful no one was injured in what was allegedly a several-hour active shooter situation in Bell County. Kentucky State Police say they got a call shortly after midnight on Sunday that said an active shooter situation was in progress in the Cary community of Bell County at a home off Billy Goat Hill Road. When police arrived at the house, through investigations, police say they determined Charles Lawson allegedly shot into a neighbor's house and that he caused a fire that burned his house. Several local and city police agencies assisted Kentucky State Police in their efforts, an effort that troopers say they are thankful for.
Approximately 6 hours on this before we located him, and then for him to come out to us and to be able to take him into custody, it's a relief. You know, no fight, no further violence.
Lawson is being held at the Bell County Detention Center. In Harlan County, Hannah Reynolds, WYMT Mountain News.
Troopers say Lawson also faces charges from the Bell County Sheriff's Office. A Missouri police officer is dead after responding to a report about a bad check. Authorities say 40-year-old Michael Langsdorf was called to a market in Wellston yesterday afternoon. He was shot and killed a short time later by a person trying to cash a check. Police have a 26-year-old suspect in custody. Langsdorf is survived by his fiancee, 2 children, and his parents. He was with the North County Police Cooperative for just 3 months, but worked in law enforcement for 17 years. One Pike County man was shot and seriously injured early Sunday morning in Lexington. He played football at Belfry High School and now plays at Eastern Kentucky University in Richmond. WYMT's Marianne Fletcher talked with his high school coaches about nearly losing one of their own.
21-year-old Cameron Cattron is currently being treated at UK Hospital after being shot in Lexington. Now the community known as Pond Creek Nation is coming together.
We're going to pray together. We're going to cry together. We're going to heal together. We're going to have good times and bad times together, but we're going to do it together.
Police say one man grabbed a gun and shot Cameron after a fight outside of Two Keys Tavern around 1:30 Sunday morning.
I was devastated.
Matt Varney is the assistant principal and football coach at Belfry High School.
It was a shock to know that happened.
Cameron played football for Belfry from 2013 until he graduated in 2016, when he continued his passion at Eastern Kentucky University.
It's not like you're in a big city where, you may not have that support, and he does.
He says Cameron is not like many.
His work ethic is like no other.
And while he may be down for now, he is not out.
If any kid can overcome this, it's him.
His coaches tell me they are praying for his recovery. In Pike County, Marianne Fletcher, WYMT Mountain News.
Investigators tell our sister station WKYT the person who shot Cameron Catron was wearing a blue shirt and has dreadlocks with blonde tips. Later at 6, you'll hear from other coaches who have known Cameron his entire life. A Southern Kentucky family is preparing funeral services for a woman who died Friday, and police say the man responsible was her nephew. Wanda Richardson was found dead outside her home at the end of Betty West Road. WYMT's Phil Pendleton spoke with Richardson's daughter, who describes what she calls a brutal attack that ended her mother's life.
Police here in Williamsburg are still investigating the murder, but they believe, based on the preliminary autopsy results, that the cause of death will likely be strangulation. But they can also tell that Wanda Richardson was severely beaten. Police say the fight between Wanda Richardson and her nephew Michael Lee Worley lasted about 7 minutes, and it resulted in the 58-year-old woman's death at the hands of her 40-year-old nephew. Gina Baker describes it as an attack that started in her mother's home and then went outside. Police suspect drugs could be part of the motive, but it remains under investigation. Baker says Worley had tried to break into another relative's home recently, and there had been a confrontation with other family members. She says it happened as her mother was trying to get ready for a doctor's appointment. After she was dead, Baker says Worley was heard talking as if nothing bad had just happened.
And then he had enough nerve to peep his head back in the door to my grandmother's house and tell my mama that it was okay, everything was all right, and that my mother had went to her appointment.
Her family tells me that Richardson did have trouble with her nephew before. In fact, the night before, she called police because there was a prowler running around. Police went out there, they looked around, but they could not find anyone. In Whitley County, Phil Pendleton, now back to you.
Funeral services for Wanda Richardson are set for 1:30 Wednesday afternoon at Crowley Funeral Home in Williamsburg. President Donald Trump is delaying a sweeping series of immigration raids, but he is also telling congressional Democrats to get moving. But those targeted in the delayed operation can still be deported. The raids were set to begin yesterday. The Immigration and Customs Enforcement planned to round up about 2,000 immigrants, including families, in 10 reported cities. The president delayed the operation following outcry from several Democratic leaders. During the weekend, the acting ICE director made it clear agents will continue to carry out court-ordered deportations. Earlier today, President Trump signed an executive order issuing new sanctions on Iran. The sanctions target Iran's supreme leader, preventing him from using the United States financial system or accessing any assets in the United States. The U.S. accuses Iran's Revolutionary Guard of shooting down a drone over international waters last week. Iran says it was in Iranian airspace and is prepared to shoot down more.
Today's action follows a series of aggressive behaviors by the Iranian regime in recent weeks, including shooting down of U.S. drones.
The U.S. has also accused Iran of sabotaging oil tankers in the Strait of Hormuz, a claim Iran denies. The Pentagon deployed an aircraft carrier to the region in response. The U.S. called for an emergency meeting of the United Nations Security Council to lay out evidence it claims proves Iran is behind the oil tanker attacks. Insurance companies claim they lost $12 billion under the Affordable Care Act. Now the Supreme Court could decide if they can recover that money. The cases involve a fund that was designed to protect insurers from losses. Companies that set premiums too low were supposed to be able to take cash out to make up the difference. But insurers say they only received a fraction of the payments they were owed and racked up huge losses. They sued the Department of Health and Human Services. Last year, a federal appeals court ruled against the insurers in the lawsuit. How much are tech companies such as Facebook making off your data? An introduced bill, the Dashboard Act, will find out for you. The bill focuses on companies such as Facebook, Google, Amazon, Twitter, and any other, quote, commercial data operators with more than 100 million monthly users. Democratic Senator Mark Warner of Virginia says the bill would increase transparency and could help antitrust regulators determine if those big platforms are hurting competition among other tech companies. Head over to Wall Street now this Monday afternoon. The Dow closes up today more than 8 points. It's been 1 year since a Thai soccer team captivated the world, surviving 17 days in a flooded cave. The 12 boys and their coach returned to the site to pray. They honored Sergeant Saman Gunan, a diver who died during the daring mission to save them. The boys thanked hundreds of volunteers and diving specialists around the world who returned to Thailand 1 year after the dramatic ordeal.
Get a little bit of closure, right, and see, okay, we're back here and things are okay, and know that the boys are good and be able to reconnect with people that we formed relationships with.
The boys, now ages 12 through 17, continue to play soccer together. Many dream of playing professionally, while others say they want to become Navy SEALs like those who helped save their lives. Straight ahead on First at 4, the Kentucky Opioid Summit is happening in Lexington today. You'll hear from several who are attending.
And storms continue to pop up across the mountains. We'll break down that full forecast next.